also one of the IT activities and social activists. So today you are celebrating our Vigilance Awareness Week, and also Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is a unit. We are celebrating the Unity Day of our country. So Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is given immensely, will play the role in our country to make independent of our country. So, dear learners, you know the vigilance awareness we were celebrating because to ourselves to make corruption free India. Because in my knowledge, corruption is a part and parcel of the human life, if I'm not incorrect. Because one way the other way, not only that, you are taking bribe, you are doing corruption. Being an Indian, we do feel that in workplace and whatever work we are doing, we are not committed to our work. For example, if somebody is coming to the office timing is 9:30 to 6 o'clock. So may you are coming to the office 10:30, or if you go to the any office, might be not available that chair. So that is also part of the corruption. If you committed to your work, you can dedicate it to work. You can feel that it's my work. So whatever the work is assigned to me, if I can do that work on time, so that is also one kind of corruption-free India. So being a younger generation, you should committed to the work, committed to your study, committed to whatever things you are doing. So you can make free, corruption-free India. So this is the one agenda the government of India thinking on that. So if you think on that, you can take pledge on that. So you can develop our country, whatever development you are thinking 2047. By that time, our country will develop. So our mission, our vision, so whatever you are thinking, so it is very much possible to make it our country develop. So today's topic is systemic correction, the root of symptomatic corruption. It's a very good topic. So RC Bhubaneswar, regularly you are conducting the webinar for our learners. So you feel that our learner should get exposure of different kind of field and different kind of academician, bureaucrats and lawyers. So we are giving exposure to our students. No, they should not feel that, they are not at par with any other conventional systems. So with this word, I welcome you to today's webinar, to our learners, our resource person, Mr. Nishikant Mahapatra. So thank you very much. So we are keen to listen, Mahapatra sir. Over to Nanda sir.
Thank you, Dr. Panigrahi. May I now request my colleague Dr. Prabhat Kumar Jana to kindly give a brief introduction of our today's resource person, Sri Nishikant Mahapatra ji.
Thank you, sir.
Prabhat sir, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Very good afternoon, everybody. On this occasion, I would like to thank the resource person first for accepting our invitation. So, esteemed senior journalist Dr. S.K. Panigrahi sir, respected Dr. Beshananda sir, deputy director, respected resource person Mr. Nishikant Mahapatra sir, and he is the advocate of Odisha High Court. And on this occasion, I would like to address our learners or participants. So, dear participants, or all other respected dignitaries, my dear friends and colleagues. And today, since on this great occasion, we have chosen a very good topic. Systematic corruption is the root of symptomatic corruption. So it's a very eye-catching topic, and we have already chosen a very good expert on this topic, and he has very good expertise on this area, and we all are very interested. We are very keen to listen to him. So before start of this meeting, let me just have a brief introduction about our speaker, our expert, Mr. Nishikanta Mahapatra sir. Mr. Mahapatra sir is a known social worker and he is also a RTI activist. He has been a resource person to SIRD, Gopabandhu Academy, Madhusudan Academy, and many NGOs in the field of accountable governance and transparency for the last one decade. And he is presently doing his legal practice in the Odisha High Court. And since he is already in the legal practice and he is already in the field of anti-corruption like that, and he has done his MPhil from JNU, he has done his MPhil in political science from JNU and LLB from Utkal University. No doubt he has very good experience in this field, and we all would like to listen to him. And our learners are also very interested. I hope they will be enjoying this session and will be getting some knowledge from you. Okay, thank you, sir. Once again, I welcome you to this meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Prabhat. It's my proud privilege now to request Sri Nishikant Mahapatra sir to kindly deliver his address on systematic corruption is the root of symptomatic corruption. So I request you honestly, sir, and we are eagerly waiting to listen to you all this while. Thank you, and over to you.
A very good afternoon to all the participants present, and especially a lot of thanks to IGNOU Regional Center for organizing such a seminar in the Vigilance Awareness Week. We are in a paradox. In India, every day we are finding people caught by the vigilance, caught by the NIA, caught by the CBI with huge stacks of cash. In Odisha, presently, we saw in Purapur, in recently Bhubaneswar, everywhere, whether you are a GST officer, whether you are a sub-inspector in a police station, or an engineer, junior engineer, or a secretary, a lot of cash tax, a lot of corruption is coming around. We feel happy when a corrupt person is caught hold of. Everybody feels happy. But the tragedy is that we all also love to do corruption. You know, corruption, if somebody will tell that I don't want corruption, I will never do corruption, then in today's India, in today's affairs of the state, it is simply not possible. Why not possible? Because whatever corruption you are visualizing, like bribery, embezzlement, extortion, fraud, graft, whatever, these are symptoms of corruptions. Somebody got hold of by the vigilance with lot of money, you are having the visuals, oh, how much money this person has got, he must be a corrupt one. But you can imagine that this corruption is a very small part, this corruption very often even not corruption. What I'm trying to tell you, that what we are seeing in the media, in the mass media, in the newspaper, in the prints, that XYZ got caught hold of, so much of money was recovered. In true sense, it may not be a corruption. And you know the conviction rate. When we find a newspaper report that X got cut off due to corrupt practice and 2 crores got recovered. But you never got to read the news that after 2 years, 3 years, he was released by the court because he accounted for that money. So only the news of got hold of gets into our mind, but the release is not. What I'm trying to say, All these bribes, embezzlements, extortions, graft charges are a very small part of corruption. Then what kind of corruption we are today going to discuss? It is systematic corruption, because systematic corruption is the mother of all corruptions. Systematic corruptions generates a thousands times, lakhs times the corrupt practices that we are witnessing, because everybody is doing corruption. If all the officers are doing corruption and five get caught off, you know that 5% got caught off. But what about the 95% who are not ready, who are not caught or hold of? Are they honest? Are they doing their work properly? Is it that only the person who got caught hold is corrupt and others are not corrupt? That's not the case. Very often we'll find the honest people get framed. They are trapped because they are honest. So to distinguish these symptoms from the system, today's topic is systematic corruption is the root or is the mother of symptomatic corruption, which I somehow mentioned. Symptomatic corruption, definitely when you see a person giving a bribe, when you see that you are a banker and in the cash stolen from your custody, you have stolen that, when you have stolen the government money, when you have defrauded the exchequer or manipulated some documents, all those are corrupt practices, of course. But what I'm trying to tell, behind these corrupt practices, there is a corrupt system. I'll give one, two examples, you will understand. Then we'll get into the systematic corruption. I will appoint a driver. I need a driver. IGNU needs a driver. IGNU will bring out an advertisement that his salary is 10,000. In Odisha, it's a poor state, anybody is eager. So, you will give one advertisement that we want to keep a driver and the salary is only 10,000. So, somebody poor who is desperate definitely will come and join. Okay, sir, I am ready to join the post as a driver. When you will shift to Bhubaneswar to work in IGNU as a driver, he will move near around for an accommodation. His wife is there, his two children are there, so he will find out one accommodation. And however, in a slum or somewhere, he finds it 5,000-6,000. Okay, that is gone. Then his livelihood, another 4,000-5,000. So automatically the 10,000 is quite inadequate for that post, for that driver. Still he has joined it because otherwise he is starved. So what you will think? Once I join, let me join, I will get the 10,000 as salary and I will arrange another 5,000 out of selling the petrol in the vehicle or forging the kilometers. Because unless he does that, he can't survive, he can't continue in that post, and we know that. The authorities know that. The authority know a person who is to stay in Bhubaneswar, who is to work in Bhubaneswar, who is to work as a driver giving his 24 hours time to the organization without any scope of side business, is pushed into corruption. I say he is pushed into corruption. The system told him, by 10,000 is your salary and you arrange somehow to manage yourself. Some may question, Sir, why not he choose not to join the job? Because he don't have any option. He has to join as he is the poor, and without joining he will starve. So your system compelled you to steal petrol. Another example I am giving, one of my friend was running a control shop. You people know that in PDS system there is a control shop system. The government will give rice, wheat, sugar to the control shop. Kerosene, earlier it was also there. And the control shop will distribute it among the people. I told that person, I have learned that a lot of corruption occurs in control shop. Why you people are doing corruption? Why can't you be honest? He laughed. He told, the government knows that from the procurement center, suppose there is FCI Godam, from that you will procure the goods, paddy, rice, whatever, and take to your control shop. You know the per kilometer transport they give, that was a long way back. It was 2 rupees 50 paisa at that time, the government rate. And actually, the transport cost was its double. 5 rupees per kilometer was cost, but the government was giving 2.5 per kilometer. I said, you complain? No, 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 no. If you complain, your license will go, somebody else will take. You have to do it. Then how you manage? Now the government officer is telling, you people have some forged BPL cards with you. You manage with that. Suppose I am a control shop, I have 100 PDS cards with me, and out of that, the government officials know that 15, 20, yeah, 25% people are not lifting their grains. They are either no more, or they are transferred, or they are not taking. Still, the control shop is happy with that, because this 25% extra OD card or BPL cards will be sufficient to cover up the transport cost plus the profit plus bribe to the official. Why this system? If per kilometer 5 rupees 5 is needed, why the government will won't give 5 rupees? Why enforce them to 2.5? Why enforce them to steal? So while the control shop is stealing, still he is forced to steal. I'm coming to the point of systematic corruption part. Third example I am giving, another systematic corruption, how people are compelled to do corruption. You go to one hospital, government hospital, maybe AIMS or AIMS. Take the example of AIMS Bhubaneswar. AIMS Bhubaneswar, they are now come up with a application whereby you can advancedly book your tickets. And in application, they are giving certain bots. On this spot, they are giving certain bots. You know, people are coming from West Bengal, from Bihar, from Jharkhand. They will come from night. Previous night, they will be in the queue, so that in the morning they will get a porchi to register themselves and take the medical advice. You reached, one of my friend, all these are of practical experiences. At 8 o'clock in the morning, there is a problem in your family, a James is nearby, you rush. You can go to emergency, but there are certain problems if your ear is itching or something that is not of that emergency kind, you have to be in the line. But you won't get to show the doctor. You won't be registered because already there are thousands people in the line. What you will do? You will find out a contact. If you know a doctor, if you know a staff of the EMS, if you know a security person of the EMS, you will request, भाई साहब बहुत ही जरूरी है, प्लीज मुझे एक पर्ची कटवा दो. If the doctor recommends you out of turn, that is corruption. If a staff takes some money and somehow manages a पर्ची, that is corruption. And this corruption nobody desires. Neither the patient desires, but he is in pain, he has to show it. And the doctor also neither desires. He is compelled because you are a non-person and you are suffering. Who are in the queue? Thousands of people in the queue. Here the system should accommodate a number of persons. If one system cannot accommodate, you should create multiple systems. But for institution, the capacity has to maximize. Beyond the maximum capacity, if the demand exists, then corruption will be ensured. So number of institutions has to be grown. Unless you make adequate number of institutions, then corruption will thrive. All these three questions, examples I put only to show that very often people not willing to do corruption, people not gaining out of corruption, people not out of luxury doing corruption also do corruption because they are bound to more. Another one example you can understand. In High Court, when you file a case, you are supposed to get relief when the case will be hard. But there are cases that is not being heard for years. What you have done? You have done everything. You have appointed a good lawyer. You have given his fees. You are right on the right side of the law. You know you have done no mistake. You know you have full faith in the judiciary. You know the day your case will be heard, you will be released. But your case is not heard for 2 years, for 3 years, for 5 years. And unless it is heard, you won't get relief. So you are an honest person. You are wrongly framed. You have resources. You want your case to be heard. So what you will do? You will go to the Pescar, you will go to the, whatever judicial official available, request them, pray them, bribe them. If possible, somehow, you will try to put your case as soon as possible. When this kind of corruption occurs, it becomes part of our life. I know in our state, in our country, every day, everybody is acquainted with corruption. And the cause of this corruption, why this corruption is taking place, is very, that is not in your control. Unless the government, unless the society, unless the polity addresses these concerns, nobody can end corruption. So, what are those concerns? What should be addressed? Lack of education, lack of awareness is the main cause of corruption. I am giving you another example. Suppose I went to the sub-register office for registration of a land. As per law, the sub-register cannot deny to accept your document. They are bound to accept it, and after that, if something wrong is there, it can be they will return it back with a written note that XYZ is wrong in your document, so modify it and give it. So you will, and it is time bound also. So you will get, again, if some difficulty, you will modify and give it. But what will happen if you will go to the sub-register office? They will tell that we will not receive it. It is wrong. Falana falana आपका documents नहीं है. We won't receive it. What to do? सर किसी भी तरह रिसीव कर लीजिए. ठीक है, 10,000 दे दो, रिसीव कर लीजिए. रिसीव कर लिया, और जब अब डॉक्यूमेंट फाइनल हो गया, कुछ इनएडिक्वेट, अरे XYZ आपके पास नहीं है, सर मैनेज कर लो. ठीक. But if I know what is my right, what documents are required, if I have submitted all the right documents and I know they are bound to accept it, then if they are not accepting, I will go for complaint. I will complain to the higher authority. I will ensure that they accept it. I will ensure that I get the result in a time-bound manner. So, those people who don't know their rights, who don't know the process, which office to go, which documents are required, whom to approach, what is my right and what is his accountability. Unless I know it, I will suffer, I will bribe, I will depend upon middlemen. You will be astonished. Recently, one case is that somebody purchased a land and applied for quota. सेल डीड हो गया, उसके बाद उसको record of rights मिलना है, and there is a full system to apply it online. He will apply it online and will also get it online. But he doesn't know that can be applied online. He knows whenever you go to a tahsil for pata, there are all kinds. So he will come to you and say, please give 20,000 of rupees and ensure that my pata is done. Then the person who takes, okay, ठीक है. So that's how your ignorance fueled or cost you 20,000 rupees. We should have been done. Any person who knows that birth certificate, death certificate, आपका driving license learning, many things are available online. You just have to enter the documents and in a time-bound manner you will get it. But we don't know it. We depend upon middlemen. We depend upon the government officials. We give them bribe. We'll do our things done. So your ignorance fuels your dependence on third parties. Your ignorance compels you to pay, and your ignorance ensures that the demand money and the circle of corruption thrives. So once we are educated, Once we are informed, once we know our rights, once we know the duties of the officials, once we know the time period for performance of that duty, the corruption vanishes in this sector. But in India, as you know, really people, even when I say when we are educated and informed, I'm not talking of only qualifications. Whether you are a graduate, postgraduate, PhD, doesn't matter. Many PhDs they don't know how to apply certain things. They don't know which office to go. They don't know whom to approach. They have their own world. So each citizen has to be empowered, informed, and educated about public offices, their roles, responsibilities. And it is the duty of the government to ensure the system, to ensure that the academics carry this practical lifestyle. We are studying history, political science, psychology, geography, everything. But the art of living should be made a part of the curriculum so that the students who grow up in, if you are a 10th standard student, I am sure, or 9th standard student, you must not be knowing the how the bank functions, how an account is to be opened, how money is to be withdrawn. We have to teach this in academics as a curriculum, lifestyle development curriculum. So our lack of education and awareness, our lack of transparency and accountability. It's a very, you know, you will be astonished to see there is no mechanism of accountability. Whatever mechanism is there, rubbish, that is non-functional. If a police officer comes to your home, makes a false accusation against you, takes you by color, puts you in thana for 2 days, then in jail. After 1 month, you come out in bail, and you can do anything against that police officer. You can approach the SP, you can approach the Home Minister, XYZ. But what is the guarantee that he will be penalized? What is the guarantee that he will be given exemplary punishment? You know, in India, the custodial deaths are increasing. You know, the police atrocities are increasing because there is no control, because the citizens are helpless. If there is has to be a robust accountable system, if you do a false inquiry, if you do a false accusation, if you put a person without any logic in custody, then you will be facing the music, you will be penalized, you will be suspended, you will be done all things. If that we can ensure, then these atrocities, systematic, again, this is the biggest systematic corruption. The police, the officials who are in power. I give you one example how systematic corruption mitigates once the system is informed. Earlier, there was evaluations in the examination, if in IGNOU also, in different exams. And the examiner will give you marks as per his understanding of the subject, as per the general guideline provided, but very often they deviate from that and nobody was there to push. Once this Right to Information Act came, and the law became that after evaluation you can get your papers back and you can yourself see if it is properly evaluated. It transformed a lot. The way papers were seen changed. Because initially, I remember one person getting 0 in mathematics. When the paper called back, he got 80 marks in mathematics. because mistakenly it was put in a zero. So accountability got established. Teachers became more, serious. Examiners valued well, and the tabulators who were tabulating, they became responsible. That's how things changed a lot once the Right to Information Act came. Similarly, if the police are made accountable, and it has to be made swiftly in a time-bound manner. Accountability matlab is not, after 2 years, after 5 years, after 10 years. No, that is not going to manage things. If it is time-bound, if it is, strictly implemented, and you are not at some odds, you made a complaint against a sub-inspector, and after that your life became hell. That can't be. No, you have to be secure. आपकी सुरक्षा होना चाहिए, और जो सिस्टम में जो those people who are responsible must be facing accountability. Transparency and accountability is very important to reduce systematic corruption. And very often, the systematic arrangement and process is made such that it will create corruption. Suppose I will tell, if in your village, in the panchayat, the sarpanch is doing some corruption, then you can make a complaint at the block office. It's good. It's a very good, premise. But from your panchayat, if the block office will be 60 kilometers distance, there will be the complainant authority. So in the village, the poor man who has gone to bring his old age pension and facing problem, demand for bribe is there, he will get 200 rupees old age pension, and there is a demand for bribe of 100 rupees. And if you will take the other recourse from the panchayat to the block office 60 kilometer in bus, if you will go, if he has to spend 200 rupees, then what will he think? It is better to give 100 rupees to this sarpanch than to go 60 kilometers and spend 200 rupees to get a pension of 200 rupees. Very often you will find the legal system or the remedial measures are so difficult that people tell that leave it. Let us leave it. 500 रुपया, 1000 रुपया, 2000, 5000 मांग रहा है. That is better to pay than to pursue this system, which is more costly, more tedious, more difficult, and the system has been made more difficult to dissuade, to deny justice to the common man. So, if you have any court experience, legal system or court is the last resort of the citizen. If it can be solved through bribe, let us do it. Because court ko jana hai. What will be the cost? The lawyer will take his money. The court will take its time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. The court may give biased judgment. That all the judges are not competent, not neutral also. So a citizen will evaluate whether going to judiciary is more safe, more, cost involved, or paying bribe. It is not his past choice anymore. If you are asking me 10 crores, okay, I'll go to court because it will hardly cost 20-30 lakhs, I'll manage. That way people go to court. Not that it's a markup. The judiciary is so reliable, so honest, so impartial that I'll go to court. No, people have less and less reliability on institutions. So if your institutions, whether judiciary, whether accountable agencies like law enforcing agencies like CBI, ED, XYZ, police, all these institutions, if they won't be people friendly, they won't be cost effective, they won't be swift, they won't be transparent, they won't be honest, then there is no point in going to that institutions. So people slowly and slowly are getting out of it. Nowadays, people prefer giving bribe than to make a complaint. Yesterday, somebody came to me. He told for one work, a person is demanding 2,000 rupees. What to do? I told my fees is 10,000 rupees. You decide what to do. I will ensure it in the court. And I am telling you, there is no guarantee of time. 1 month, 2 months, 5 months may take. That person told me, sir, then you are telling that I should go and give 2,000 rupees and do my job. Well, as you understand. As you understand the situation. So things, the way we see has to be changed. Unless there are institutions of repute, of integrity, of time-bound implementations, the citizen is accepting corruption as a way of life. We are all accustomed to corruption. And it is very dangerous for a country like India, which is poor, which is developing, and a large section of people are left out of this system. If a large section of people left out of this system and they have diminished faith in the system and its delivering capacity, then what leads? Anarchy sets in. So corruption, the way we see, like asking for money, small things, I see on a larger canvas, the paradigm is much bigger. It is both, it is social, it is economic, it is political. The paradigm is too big. When you take a political decision, if it is meant to support a particular industry or particular section of people versus all others, then it is corruption. And it is legal corruption. I'll give you one example. Suppose there were farmers' laws. The government wanted to implement certain farmers' laws. The farmers protested, apprehending that this is meant for corporatization of farming sector. We may discuss pros and cons. Somebody may support, somebody may oppose. But large scale farmers revolt took place. And the government withdrew it. Some people will be thinking, if it is in the best interest of the country, if it was required, then why the government withdrew it? Why the government didn't, make understand the people that it is the best in the maybe something. So when political decisions are taken to support a group of people, then corruption takes place. When economic decisions are taken to support a section of people, corruption takes place. When economic, political, socio arrangements are done in such a way that is particular section will be benefited, corruption takes place. You see about institutions, educational institutions. You will find most of the top educational institutions in the cities. So the rural youth who is in the background, who is away from 6, 700, 800, 1000 kilometer away from cities, they lack those facilities to compete with the city-based youths. So there is a corruption, systematic corruption, that the poor, the backward, the marginalized, the rural youth is neglected. Why can't the government will ensure that the best of the education, and in today's time when Zoom, all that facilities are available, online classes are available, that that system is reaching to them to some extent. But why the government won't do comprehensive planning to ensure that the most backward region, the most backward population, the most backward section of the society gets the best of the facilities, so that this systematic social corruption will be prevented. When you talk of caste, when you talk of class, and when you ensure that there is a school fee of 1 lakh of rupees for a particular school, where from class 1 they will have computer, from class 1 they will swim, from class 1 they will ride horses, and contrast it to a school in a rural area where there is no computer, no internet, no electricity, no bathroom, no teacher, and the student is studying. If you can't recognize this difference as a corruption, then you are limiting your understanding of corruption, a very marginal section of the corrupt structure. You can visualize that in Bhubaneswar, I am getting access to Care Hospital, to Amri Hospital, to Kalinga, to all kinds. But in Koraput, my brothers and sisters, they are denied of basic health facilities. Then I am talking of systematic health corruption. You may be talking of, फलाना हॉस्पिटल में वो डॉक्टर ने 500 रुपया मांगा. But the more bigger corruption is that in Koraput we don't have a hospital to meet the person, and on way to Bhubaneswar the person will die without having basic health facilities. That is also corruption. So societal corruption, political corruption, economic corruption, institutional corruption, all these constitute the complex understanding of systematic corruption. And you will find that people don't talk about systematic corruption. People don't want that systematic corruption should end. Because if systematic corruption will end, then the 10-20% people, 10-20% people of the society, of the quality of the economy, who are benefiting out of that systematic corruption, they will lose their benefits. So they want that the systematic corruption should thrive. The societal, the economical, the political, systematic corruption should thrive. And they will focus upon and incentivize what? Symptomatic corruption. We caught hold of X and recovered 5 crores of rupees. What are you talking of? You are giving a contract of 1000 crores and taking a bribe of 200 crores. That is not in question. And you are talking of that a fellow person is got hold of by vigilance and 1 crore is recovered. While recovering 1 crore, you will give 2000 crores in a systematic corruption. And our people are very naive. Our people love visuals. फलाना बंदा बांध के चला गया उसको, you know, that junior engineer got hold of, that clerk got hold of, that peon got hold of, that J XYZ got hold of. Yeah, why not make a provision that any government servant who enters service will give his property details, and while retiring also he will give his property details, so that whatever acquisitions throughout his service period is done, he has to explain. Automatic explanation, no raid is required, no vigilance raid is required. Everybody has to give in affidavit that while joining the service what property he had, his family had, and while leaving the service what he has acquired, a must. Make a systematic correction. You won't be needing, daily going and raiding people. With a small story, I will end, and if all will be agreed, we can get into discussion. Uh, in Delhi, there was a anti-corruption bureau, and the previous government did a survey that every year over their anti-corruption bureau, which was a special agency to tackle corruption, the government was spending, around 2.5 crores. It may be 3 or something, but I remember it was 2.5 crores something. And the yearly recovery the agency was doing for the government was 75 lakh. So once the government decided, let us have a study of it. The government told, you people are taking a salary of 2.5 crores per year, and you are raiding. There are number of raidings, 200 raidings, and you have only recovered 75 lakhs out of it. That means out of your raid, your raiding means there has to be some information, and you are settling it and taking the bribe. So the government is not getting anything. The government is giving you salary, and you people on that salary going for raid and earning bribe for you. So the government abolished that section, special section, and came out with a measure for Japanese businessmen that you self-disclose whatever corruption you have done, and you will be giving 10% of that money to the government. And you will be astonished that self-disclosure money was 10 times the expense. Money, around 25 crores came out of that self-disclosure rather than the raids done by the special unit. So you have to be innovative. The government has to be transparent. The government has to be time bound. The institutions has to be transparent and responsive. Then we will be in a position to tackle systematic corruption. And once the system is upright, these symptoms of corruption will vanish. आपके शरीर में अगर कोई रोग नहीं है, कोई there is no disease, then आपका शरीर में जो symptoms disease का वो भी नहीं रहेगा. If we don't have any disease, we don't have the symptoms. Similarly, if the system is good, is transparent, is accountable, is time bound, is pure, then out of that system, the corruption that will emanate will be very minor, manageable, and tackleable. So that's how a system we are living in is forcing us towards corruption rather than our immorality. Many people say, oh, that person did corruption out of immoral, but they forget to understand under which system he is working. Yes, morality and immorality issues will be there, There can't be 100%, accuracy. People will always follow morality and there will be issues. But unless you address the system, these issues are permanent. They will stay. If there is one dispensary for 1 lakh people, and there is two doctors to monitor it, to give medical advice, then it is bound to be, there is bound to be corruption, because a large number of people will require a large number of doctors, a large number of hospitals. If you won't give it, then there will be corruption. If the police will not be made accountable, if they will be free after making false allegations, false arrest, custodial deaths, and there is no accountability, then there will be corruption. If the enforcement agencies, whether ED, whether CBI, whether NIA, are not made accountable for their acts of omissions and commissions, then they will be encouraged to rampage upon the common man and will put the democracy and the system in a threat. So I hope I have conveyed the message in a manner that is understandable. Still, I like to open the floor for discussion, for comments, so that we can have a two-way interaction process on the aspects I put forth. Thank you. Uh, Dr. Santosh or Dr. Nanda, please facilitate if any discussion can be done.
Your microphone is on.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nisikan sir. So it's a really very nice presentation to our learners. Definitely, our learners get benefited out of that. What is the systemic corruption and symptomatic corruption? I mean, now the floor is open to all of you. If you have any query, any suggestion, so then you can ask your question to our resource person. Tell your name and program, which program you have enrolled, and you ask your question. Students, any question?
Anybody?
Sir, my name is Tarana Sayed. I am doing a MASOL, Master in Sustainability Sciences, and I've registered for 5 papers in December. In Bhubaneswar. My question is, sir, when will we get the hall ticket and how will we get to know about it?
Learners,
Okay. I am coming to your question, but let me clarify at the outset that this is a webinar session and our expert has nothing to do with it. So
Oh,
kindly,
okay, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry.
kindly excuse us for that, but I am answering your question.
Yes, sir.
The hall tickets will be issued in the IGNOU website just 7 to 8 days before your examination.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So
Thank you.
please restrict your questions to this theme.
No
Thank you
problem.
all.
Yeah, Dr. Kuman.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other query? I strongly believe that there is no more query left because our esteemed resource person has nothing left to imagination. He has made it so vivid, so transparent, and because he's engaged in social activities at the grassroots level, he knows the nitty-gritties of corruption and activities that is taking place at the grassroots level. So it was a very lively discussion, very lively examples, sir. And I think mm, we were very good in our judgment to invite you because that is what we expected in today's discussion, and you did not disappoint us. As usual, we have listened to you 20, 30 years back also, and you have increased the tempo, and rather it is much more rich. It is richer with the new inputs that you have got from the field, and we are very fortunate to have you as our research person today. And I am quite optimistic that all our participants have gained something this way or that way. And I'm quite also optimistic that they will use this learning in the service of the society. It is a time to pay back to our nation also as learners. And this is the way we can pay back to our nation by creating awareness among the masses, by creating awareness among others, and by inciting ourselves to act in public interest. So, full credit to our research person today, sir. Thank you so much. I request my colleague Dr. Santosh Panigrai to kindly offer the formal vote
Your
of thanks.
microphone is on.
Over to you, Panigrai, sir.
Thank you very much, Nanda sir. So I'm really, I mean, thanks to Nisikan sir. I'm so happy because I know Nisikan sir is my, no doubt is my, I mean, one of the best friend, and also you studied in JNU. So what JNU stands, I mean, what people thought JNU, I mean, gives what to us. He proved this. Why I'm telling this? Because just 10 o'clock, I called him and I told him, Nisikan sir, you have to present and you have to give a talk to our students. Immediately he said yes, without no preparation. Because 10 o'clock I told, 12 o'clock is a webinar. And he delivered the talk in such a nice way. It's called JN. And it's called the outspoken of the speaker. Because whatever the sir has told, so 20, 30 years back, what Nisikan sir and what today he told, because yes, definitely I am frequently listening to Nisikan sir, so I know what's his ability, but without preparation, talking near about 40-45 minutes with systematic way. So whatever topic he chose really is worthful. So definitely my learners, my students and our academician will get pleasure out of this. Lot of information, no doubt. He's a grassroots level worker. He's a very experienced person. And with these words, I extend my heartful thanks on behalf of my Vice Chancellor, on behalf of my Senior Regional Director, on behalf of myself and my fellow colleagues. So thank you very much, sir. So with short notice, we accept our invitation and give a deliberation to our learners. Once again, thank you very much to you. Salute you. Thank you very much. Last but not least, my dear learners, without you, it cannot be success. We are just making this webinar for you only. So join more in number. So definitely you will enlighten yourself and gather a lot of knowledge, because you will not get opportunity to listen this kind of speaker. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you. Jai Jagannath.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you all once again.